Hello and welcome back to AP Psychology. I'm Miss Lee. We are still in Unit 7. This is the Humanistic Theory of Personality. By the end of this video, you should be able to compare and contrast the humanistic theories of personality with other theories of personality. You should be able to speculate how cultural context can facilitate or constrain personality development, especially as it relates to self-concept. You should be able to discuss the collectivistic versus individualistic cultures. You should be able to identify the contributions of major researchers in personality theory, including Abraham Maslow and Carl Rogers. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and grab your notes and let's get started. Okay, so in our last video, we talked about the psychoanalytic perspective. By the 1960s, psychologists had become discontented with Freud's negativity and the mechanistic psychology of the behaviorist. It was very cold, it was very dark, and so what emerged was the humanists. And these two individuals on your screen are the biggest players in the humanistic perspective. First one is Abraham Maslow, and the one to the right is Carl Rogers. In the humanistic theory, the individual's ability to control their own behavior is emphasized. The humanists view human nature in a much more positive light and believes that we are all innately good. It was a very popular perspective at its time, and you have to kind of think about what was happening in the social revolution of the 1960s. It was also very person-centered and has very much contributed to a lot of the counseling ideals that we still operate with today. All right, so this should be review. We talked about this in the motivation section. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Basically, you move up the hierarchy from the bottom. Our basic needs must be met before self-actualization, the more complex needs. So you've got basic needs like air, food, drink, shelter, warmth, sleep. Some people put sex in this category, some don't. You have your safety needs of protection, security, order, laws, limits, stability, that type of thing. You've got family, affection, relationships, your work group in the love and belonging group, your esteem needs. So this is achievement, status, responsibility, reputation. And then the highest pinnacle is self-actualization, where we reach our highest personal growth and fulfillment. So this is pure Maslow, pure humanistic theory. Ultimately, Maslow believed that we try to reach the stage of self-actualization or fulfilling our unique potential. He believed this desire exists in all people, but is often thwarted by our environment. He referred to this as a self-actualizing person. According to Maslow, the characteristics of a self-actualizing person are that they accept themselves unconditionally, that they are spontaneous and natural, that they are democratic in nature, that they do like their privacy, they focus on problems outside of themselves, they have strong ethical and moral senses, and they have close but a limited number of friends, and they tend to be very realistic. Carl Rogers also believed in an individual's personal growth tendencies and this idea that people are naturally good. He believed that the central feature of our personality is our self-concept, our perception of our abilities, our behaviors, and characteristics. If the self-concept is positive, we tend to act in positive ways, according to Rogers. With regard to growth and fulfillment, Rogers said that we have to have genuineness, we need to be open with our feelings and drop all of our facades, that we have to have acceptance, that we get rid of conditions of worth, that we have to offer unconditional positive regard, and that we have to be able to express empathy. This is sharing and mirroring our feelings and reflecting meanings of others. And he said that this was critical for an individual to continue to grow and fulfill themselves. In an effort to assess personality, Rogers would ask people to describe themselves as they would like to be, their ideal selves, and then as they actually are, or their real selves. If the two descriptions were close, the individual had a positive self-concept. All of our thoughts and feelings about ourselves in an answer to the question, who am I, refers to a self-concept. So let's evaluate the perspective. Humanistic psychology had a pervasive impact on counseling, on education, on child rearing, and even on management. Concepts in humanistic psychology, however, are vague and subjective and do tend to lack some scientific basis. It can also be argued that individualism can lead to self-indulgence, selfishness, and corruption, so we still need to be careful about the emphasis on the self. And that is it for the humanistic theory of personality. In our next video, we will cover trait theory of personality. I can't wait to see you then. Bye for now.